Well, brace yourself, folks, because we have received some pretty heart-stopping news. Now, another major bank has just collapsed, and the entire whole system is on the brink of failure. Now, panic is spreading like wildfire, unfortunately, as people are flocking to the banks. They're desperate to withdraw their savings. And do you know what's even more terrifying? It's that the Federal Reserve made a crazy regulation back in 2020, if you guys remember, that the banks, they don't need to have any reserve requirements. How many of you guys remember when they came out and said that? And so that means that your bank may not even have enough cash to cover your 10% of the deposits that you've made. You know, all about the fractional reserve or the fractional banking system that we're supposed to be living off of. Well, the 10% that they're supposed to carry may not even be there. Now, this is not a drill, people. This is the moment that we have been dreading. The collapse of Signature Bank in New York is just beginning. More banks are expected to fail, and as more of these banks continue to collapse, we're seeing the true extent of the disaster. But I don't want you guys to just take my word for it. Look at the signs. Look at what the executives are doing. They're selling their stocks and they're giving out bonuses right before the government takeover. Now, many people are withdrawing as much money as they can from banks before it's all too late. Now, we are definitely in for a wild ride, guys, and it's up to us to figure out ways to survive this financial Armageddon. Now, if you guys appreciate me sharing this information with you, please do your boy a favor, drop a like for the video and for your daily dose of the truth, economic updates, housing market updates, stock market updates, and what's really going on in Washington, D.C. That affects our lives, our families, and our bank accounts. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Now, U.S. regulators have just dropped the bombshell that they have just shut down not one, but two major financial institutions. So first, we've got Silicon Valley Bank and now Signature Bank. And if that wasn't enough to convince you of the contagion being spread within the financial institution, buckle up, because basically we've got Silicon Valley Bank United Kingdom. So Silicon Valley Bank UK, also known as SVB UK, they're on the verge of being cleared insolvent, folks, by the Bank of England, right? And I know some people are thinking, well, we don't live in England, we're not in the UK. Folks, pay attention to what's happening. Just because it doesn't happen in your backyard doesn't mean it doesn't affect you. And what we are seeing here, from at least in terms of Silicon Valley Bank, this is in our backyard. And we have a major bank in New York that has just failed, okay? So this is a global catastrophe with ramifications that easily extend well beyond the borders of the United States. So I know, and you guys are probably like, well, what else can happen now, right? Well, unfortunately, there's more. So the regulators have just issued a joint statement revealing that they are also granting a systemic risk exemption for, drumroll please, Signature Bank of New York. That's right, folks. They know that something big is about to happen, and they're basically taking drastic action in order to attempt to contain the fallout. But the question is, will it be enough? And it seems unlikely, given the fact that, you know, the number of regional banks that are on the brink of collapse is, let's just say, it's increasing. Public stock is down 33% this week, with Western Alliance down 34%. You got PacWest, Bank Corp. They're down a whopping, 55% last week. Now, just think about it for a minute. If these banks go under, this could be catastrophic to say the least. Now, the time to take action is now. Now, those who have been following the channel for a while, you know, I'm pretty sure you guys have been preparing for this as we have been discussing these types of events and how likely they were to happen. I should say how likely they are to happen now, right? So, you know, and me personally, I don't look at gold as a way to make money off of it. You know, that's not how I view precious metals. Although gold is up lately and a lot of people have made money on gold, I don't look at gold as a way to make money. That's not how I view gold. I prefer to invest in other things other than gold. However, I do see gold as a way to diversify my assets. And I do see gold as a hedge, a valid hedge that's been used for the last 4,000 years to ultimately it's been a source of value, it's been a store of value, and it is a way to hedge inflation, and and especially in the face of a weakening dollar. So for the best way to invest in gold, be sure to hit the link in the description down below of this video. And if you guys thought all of what I've told you already was bad enough, just wait until you hear about stablecoin. USDC stablecoin, right? So this cryptocurrency stablecoin was only second to Tether, and it has broken the dollar peg, unfortunately, after revealing more secrets, right? After revealing that it had $3.3 billion in, drumroll please, SVB exposure, also known as Silicon Valley Bank exposure. That's right, guys. So the dollar peg has been broken for the first time in history, and this is for a quote-unquote stable coin. All right, so I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm pretty sure you guys know where I'm going with this, right? And it fell all the way down to 87 cents. And even though it has recovered a little bit, the fact remains is that, this is a very worrying development. And it just goes to show that no financial institution is safe right now. No financial institution, no financial bank is safe from the contagion that's spreading throughout the global banking system as a whole. And we're a global economy now. So what we are seeing and feeling here in the United States is going to have a ripple effect across the country, across the globe, I should say. And so then there's Signature Bank, right? The banking regulator has promised that depositors will have full access to their deposits, and that all of the deposits of this particular bank, this particular banking institution, will be made whole just as they were with Silicon Valley Bank. But the question is, can we really trust these promises that are being made to us? Can we just, go to bed at night and, wake up in the morning, everything's just fine? I'm going to leave that to you guys. Now, with the entire banking system in chaos, it's really just hard to know who to believe and what to believe anymore. So you got Janet Yellen. She just announced a new $25 billion facility to backstop these banks. But will it be enough to stave off the impending collapse? That's the real question. Now, only time will tell. But one thing is for sure, this is absolutely a live run. And we're all in uncharted territory right now. So there's no real back testing that we could really reflect on. But who do you think is really going to foot the bill for this catastrophic mess? Let's be honest, folks. Brace yourself, because the answer is probably not what you want to hear. So the Federal Reserve, they're setting up a brand new facility to backstop the floundering banks. And just think about it. Who do you think is going to be left holding the bag? Think about history now, guys. Think about history. That's right. It's you and me. But wait, there's more. Our hard-earned money is going to be siphoned off without us even realizing it, all while our purchasing power continuously gets eroded day by day. You guys know how it is. You go in Kroger, Walmart, Publix. I mean, heck, I went into McDonald's the other day to pick up some food for someone else because I don't eat McDonald's. But I went into McDonald's and I was like blown away at the prices. Like $8 for like some of these, I don't know if they still call them extra value meals, but I was just blown away at the prices. I haven't been into a McDonald's, to purchase food for myself in so long, and I just do not remember the prices being so high. But that's another story. But, things are likely to get worse, guys. And this will only encourage more banks. This will only encourage more banks to take on bigger and bigger risks, which will ultimately put more risk to our financial system. It will ultimately lead to an even more colossal collapse. Now, we're talking about the entire system going down in flames here, folks. Even if the Federal Reserve starts printing more money, like it's going out of style, it won't even matter. It will not even matter, because people will have completely lost faith in the dollar and the banking system. And so that's not a real solution. It might be a Band-Aid fix. And don't even get me started on Signature Bank. I mean, they're one of the largest banks in the cryptocurrency industry, and they're in trouble. Now, to be precise, they had $110 billion in total assets and $88 billion in total deposits as of December 31st of 2022. Now, of course, here we are in 2023. And when you add it all up, when you add in all the other bank losses, we're looking at a possible $1 trillion wipeout, folks. This is no longer just a minor financial crisis. It's a ticking time bomb. And the Federal Reserve and the Treasury, they're trying to put out a fire with the emergency program, the backstop deposits at Signature Bank and Silicon Valley Bank using the Federal Reserve's emergency lending authority. But whatever happened to the FDIC? Wasn't that their job? I mean, like, it's crazy where we are at this point, folks. And I don't want you to be fooled. This is just a Band-Aid, basically, just trying to gap. And, it's like trying to put a Band-Aid on a shotgun wound. Okay. And the banks, they're drowning in deposits. They're struggling to find assets to invest their money in that will have a higher rate of return than the amount that they're committed to paying their existing investors. And they need to pay their depositors. So, with the biggest bond market bubble in history, yields are almost zero. And the banks were desperate for assets to invest in. So this is part of why, Silicon Valley Bank is in this mess. But I want you to think about this. When the bond prices plummeted by 40% in 2022, the banks were left holding the bag. So when you go to withdraw your money, the banks are left scrambling to make up for their losses. It's really a vicious cycle that's basically spiraling out of control, and you and me are left caught in the crossfire. Now, this is a financial disaster of epic proportions. Protect yourself, protect your family. The link for the best way to invest in gold is in the description down below this video. The banks they're in complete chaos right now, and it's only a matter of time before the entire system collapses. Hopefully that does not happen, but it's just not looking good right now. And, they're running to the banks. Some people are withdrawing their money, but the banks just simply don't have it. And this is a full-blown banking panic that we're seeing. And I'm hoping that we can kind of put a lid on this thing before it continues to spread. Bank of America, of all places, the biggest major bank, is on the brink of, I don't want to use a C word, so I won't say collapse, but they have unrealized losses of over $110 billion. And so the situation is dire, to say the least, and it's likely to get worse before it gets any better. So I just wanted to put this information out to you guys. The Federal Reserve is faced with an impossible decision. Do you lift the interest rates? Do you raise interest rates to control inflation and try to save, try to reduce inflation by raising interest rates? Or do you try to save the banks and lower the interest rates, but you risk complete economic collapse and let inflation go out of control? So it's kind of a lose-lose situation, and we're all caught in the middle. And if the Federal Reserve only has one tool to address inflation and save the economy, and this one tool only has like two directions you can go: raise interest rates or lower them. But no matter what direction you decide to go, you end up losing. How do you win? And so this is where I'm at, folks. This is why I'm kind of saying, like, I don't see a solution here. But I'm willing to remain optimistic. I'd love to hear from you guys. But, again, protect yourselves, protect your family. This is not necessarily the time to sit back and watch. We have to protect our family before it's too late. And, this crisis could very well just be the beginning. So if you guys got value out of this video, definitely drop me a like. Consider sharing this video. Also subscribe to this channel for your daily dose of the truth. Y'all be safe out there, and I'll catch you on the next one.